Joe Belansky, your Director of Programming. Thank you very much for being here. We're very excited to have you for a Q&A with some folks from Fabiu, and we'll be talking to them in a moment. Right now, I wanted to talk about our community partners. Our community partners are people who really believe in what we do. They allow us to showcase what they do because we're all part of the same community. Today's community partner for the screening is the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. I'm sure many of you are familiar with their work, but for those of you who may not be, here's a little bit of a promo for them and the work that they do. All right. Thank you again to AIDS Healthcare Foundation, not only for what they do for the festival, but for the community in general. We're happy to have them and all of our community partners involved with Outshine. As I said, welcome to the 22nd Annual Outshine Film Festival, virtual edition. We're very excited that we have director Stefan Langthaler and editor Sebastian Schreiner, which I think I butchered his name again, but they're excited to have them, and actor Kristóf Gellén. So if we can bring them into the room, we'll have a conversation with them. And hello.
Hi. Hello.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you for having us.
All right. We'll start with the easy questions, or maybe not. But how did all of you come to the project? We'll start with Stefan. It's you're the director. So how did the project come to be, and then how did everybody get involved?
Also, I wanted to make a movie and search for the best team members. I worked before with Sebastian on a documentary feature. And so it was clear to work with him also for this project. And Kristóf, I searched for an actor whose mother language is Hungarian, and yeah, so I found him. I watched some show reels from him, and he was very good, so I just wrote him. Yeah.
And I know often with short films, it's a very different process than with a feature. And there's Kristóf. I apologize in advance. We're obviously doing this through the internet, and sometimes we have better connection than others. But Kristóf, we were just talking about how you came to the project and how you were found. So we're glad you were found.
Yeah, me too.
So I was asking, in feature films, you typically have people who sort of help you. On this short film, did you have that? Did you have a casting director? Was it all you sitting there watching videos, or sort of tell us a little bit about the process?
I searched for the actors myself. The hard thing was to get an actor who wants to play the role of Arthur. I thought it is a very attractive role for old actors, but in fact, there weren't very much who wanted to play this role, because it was for some actors too personal to confront with the theme of aging. And so Günther Toller, who now played Arthur, was not my first choice, but I think now that he was the best choice.
Yeah, he was fabulous. He and Kristóf were both. There's a certain level of intimacy in the film, and to me, that connection between the two was phenomenal, and something that I can, and maybe Kristóf can talk a little bit about that, because it is, it's probably not what I would consider a natural tendency, but and maybe it is. It just, to me, that was so believable, and just such a sweet, sort of intimate and caring relationship between the two.
Yeah, it was actually For me, it's very, very funny to arrive at a set on the very first day, because sometimes you just, well, not sometimes, most of the time you don't know anybody, and then you have the script, like the actors that are gonna play them, and then you meet them for the first time, and it was very funny because we somehow had a connection from like the very first moment I met him, and I knew it was gonna be difficult, but it's gonna work out because there's something there to work with, and like the whole atmosphere on the set. I mean, we were like in a very small flat in the middle of Vienna. It was like 4 degrees Celsius, so I don't know how much Fahrenheit that is, but it was like very, very hot, and the team just worked so well together that Günther and me and even Birgit, we had a very easy job in finding the story we want to tell.
Yeah, and have you done much acting? I was looking at IMDb, which isn't always the be-all to end-all, but I didn't see much about you, and to me it was such a strong performance that I would be surprised if you hadn't had much.
Well, I'm classically trained. I went to drama school in Vienna, and there are 2 drama schools in Vienna, and I went to the one which, I don't know, like some 10 years ago, they started focusing on film education as well. And we have an amazing film teacher who teaches us from the 2nd grade on until our graduation. And we have a lot of film already in university, but that's, of course, gets us to get some field practice, as I like to say it, in Vienna as well, on like some TV shows and stuff. But actually, this Fabiu is my 2nd feature film, so like a short film, and I've done only 2 other things in television, and the most work I do is theater. But as I said, we have a very profound and very good education in film at uni.
Yeah, well, congratulations, because that definitely shows. Can you talk, Stefan, a little bit about sort of the process of making the film, the length of time it took, some difficulties? I think even for a short film, I think people think it's just, boom, and it's done. Which sometimes because of limitations it is, but I don't think they realize the amount of work that it actually takes to create even a 30-minute film. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so one hard process was to write the story. Yeah, that took me very long because it was necessary to condense the essentials of the story. But as this was done, we had a good basis, and then we got fundings from Vienna and I think Lower Austria, and so we had almost enough money to make the movie. And then very hard was, very important was to find the right place where we can shoot, because I had a very concrete imagination of the flat, and but we were very lucky, because the first flat we walked in was perfect. It was exactly the flat I had imagined, and so that was very important for the camera, for the look of the film. And yeah, then our team is mostly out of film students, and we worked together for years, so we understood each other. We know what we want, and we knew what we want, and yeah.
How many days was the shoot, and then how many days, say, from when you started writing to when the film actually became a film? How long was that? That's sort of 2 questions in one.
We shot 9 days,
Oh.
And the writing process was about half a year, and it took us 1 year to start the shoot. Yes. Interesting.
And Sebastian, this might be a good time to bring you in as editor. What was that process like? Was it, I don't think people again understand what an editor and how important they are to a final process, a final film. So
We started the editing right after shooting, and we had a month for editing.
2 months.
Yeah, 2 months.
I think 2 months.
No.
We remember it a little differently.
Really, 2?
It felt like 2 months.
Okay.
No.
And is editing? I think people see it as the solitary. You're there in front of your computer doing what you want to do, but that's probably not the way it is. I'm assuming you're always in communication with the others to sort of create the edits. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. It's much about dramatically, and not just about putting the shots together. It's much more to feel the right moments for the actors. And yeah, our first rough cut was about 40 minutes.
Yes.
And then we thought about changing and changing scenes of the movie, and put it also some scenes out to get the better film, we think.
Good. Well, I don't know what is on the floor, but what I saw is fabulous. So we're so excited that you were able to create what you created. And Sebastian number 2 is with us, producer.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Well, thank you for being here.
A pleasure.
This might be a good time to talk about your role. And I think, again, audiences sort of know that there's a producer involved, but I'm not sure they really know what a producer does. So, how did you do what you do?
In our case, it's the term that Stefan and I studied together. So we were we know each other for over 10 years. And I'm also a director, but I produce with my colleagues. We are a collective and produce our projects. And so we are in discussion, and we want to go far with our project. And so it was very interesting to read this wonderful script by Stefan. And then it was a very short time. So we have get funded by the city of Vienna and Lower Austria. And then we start to with pre-production. And then, we shot the movie in an apartment in Vienna. So yeah, that was the story.
Right. Well, I think people don't necessarily understand that a producer really does produce, and it's really a difficult situation. You're keeping all the moving parts moving. So, is this the first foray into a gay lesbian subject, or is that something that you've done in the past, feel familiar with, and the actors, Kristóf, can maybe talk about that, whether that was at all an issue. You mentioned earlier about having difficulty finding Arthur, but I didn't know if your background is something, it was just another story, or
No, it was not just another story to me. Were you asking me or Stefan?
I ask you anybody, just for your comfortability level. Have you done things gay, lesbian oriented in the past?
No, me, I did not. And I was very happy to get this role because it was the script that touched me, and not the gay lesbian, the foremost. As getting into this whole thing, it turned in a so human story to me, because it's not just the gay thing, but it's the old young thing. It's the foreign and homebound thing. It's so many beautiful things that touch me as well, because I was born in Germany. I'm a Hungarian citizen, raised in Austria. I have very conservatively raised parents who are, for God's sake, very open. And I have a gay little brother. So I have so much going on that touched me about this script, that I read it once in like what felt for me like 5 minutes, and I wanted to do it. And that's what touched me the most. But to answer to your question, no, I did not do anything gay lesbian before, and this was my first thing, and I'm very glad that this was my first thing.
Great. And the others?
Yeah, for me, it was the first time that I wrote something very personal. I felt the need to try this, and I wanted to tell the story of the reason why I made it to come out. And the reason was that I had a nightmare where I saw myself as an old man who knows that he is going to die and never had felt pure love. And this picture of this old man was very hard for me, very intense, and it was the reason why I thought that it is necessary to come out and live my life. And so I wanted to tell a story that is able to express this thought. And they say always you should write about something you know.
Yep.
And that's really a very good tip. So not tip, what's it?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, I understand.
I apologize, my English. It's
Yeah. No, the point is made.
In German, I listen more intelligent.
Oh, you're doing great. And I should have mentioned that you were a little leery of your English, but so far you're doing great. So we appreciate you working through those. What do you see doing in the future? Do you like the short film? I think people sometimes think that short film and short filmmakers, just want to make a feature, that they don't look at short films as an art itself. And to me, there are many different limitations in both, but a short, you only have a certain amount of time to tell a story. So I think that can sometimes be more difficult. But where do you see yourself? Would you like continuous shorts and then maybe do a feature? Or do you have no desire to do a feature?
I have a great desire to do a feature, but I plan to make two more short films. One I will shoot in April next year, but I'm also write on a feature film. I hope that I can finish the first draft of the screenplay till October. And I thought after finish of my study that I will never do a short film, because the work is extremely hard. I think it's not less than for a feature film. It's expensive. Always you have to put your own money in it, and
nobody get paid.
Nobody get paid, and you ask yourself why you do this. But with Fabiu, I know why, because it's a very, very personal and important story. So, and we have the luck that it's also a successful movie. It's very surprising for me, but it's nice to see that people appreciate that that we made something very, very much heart and personalities in it.
Yeah, it's universal, and I'm glad you've all sort of alluded to the fact that while it's a gay and lesbian story, that at its core, as we always say, it might be cliche, but it's true. Love is love, and that I think is evident in what you have shown us. Kristóf, what would you like to do? Would you like to continue? Do you want to do it all? Do you want to continue in film? Do you where does sort of your heart lie if you had to let us know?
That's the most difficult question to ask an actor who actually really loves both. That's really the difficult thing, because I love theater for its actuality. It happens in the moment. 500 people watching you doing a monologue and stuff, but there's nothing more that you can enjoy when like, I don't know, 10 people in a room hold their breath just to keep it silent, and everybody watches that everything is perfect. And I love just the teamwork aspect of film so much, and stories told, and I love everything about it. So Of course, I want to do more film. Yes, sure.
So maybe I can say something to that, because you said the teamwork. So we are as a working group. It was so special because Stefan has written this beautiful script, and at the first moment we said, okay, we want to do this, and one thing comes to another, and it was really a beautiful experience to shoot the movie with this passion and Stefan's vision. So we're really glad that we can work as a team at this niveau. So I'm really glad that it happened, and that the success is there. So thank you very much, Stefan, for your beautiful script and your beautiful work. So
yeah, I echo that. And what has the reaction been? And you said it was overwhelmingly successful. Was there anything, like, did someone come up to you and say something to you that just sort of you said, oh, that's what it's all about? I mean, I think sometimes it's what motivates us to do it again after you're like, I'm never doing this again. Something makes you say, that was worth it, I'm going to do it again.
Yeah, the feedback is great. For a few days ago, I got an email by a festival program director, and this was overwhelming. I had to read it 10 times because I couldn't believe it. And he wrote why he liked the film, and it was stunning to see that he really understood what we've done and what we wanted to do, and what was the core of the story. And yeah, such moments are quite
Rewarding.
Thank you.
Is there a moment in the film that you just sort of rewatch or something and just like marvel at, or just it could be a question for all of you, just something that you look at and it really epitomizes the film itself? It's like a look or a glance or something.
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Like a moment in the film that just you really, I mean, you're certainly happy with the whole film, and you should be, but is there a part of it that really stands out to you as beautiful or momentous?
I really like the scene where Fabiu makes the leg exercise with Marta, and Arthur wakes up and watches him, and the combination of the movement of the camera and the music, and that's really nice. It's there. It was very nice to see that what I had imagined really worked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure. That's actually what it's all about. And what are you all doing? You'd mentioned you work together a lot. So can you fill us in on sort of what you're working on, and is it together? And and then I'll ask Kristóf too, as far as what you're, what can we see from you next?
The next script, what I will shoot in April, is a father and son story. Again, very personal. My father will be surprised when he sees the film, but it's something more humorous, not a drama, because I wanted to do something completely different. Because Fabiu was very hard to write, and I'm grateful that it worked, but now I need to do something else. Yes, and the team will be almost the same as
Oh, great! That's evident that you like working together. Kristóf, you have something?
I'm going back to work in theater again. It starts in September, and I'm waiting for the film requests.
Good. Well, hopefully they'll come through. What would you like to leave audiences thinking, either our audiences or people who see the film? What's sort of the takeaway? Is it just that love is love, or is there, sort of a more, what's the message that you hope people get?
I don't know if you used the intro video I made for Orchan, but there I said that for me, Fabiu, although it's about an old man, the story, the message is for young people. It's maybe it's a simple message, but I wanted to say that we are young and we have the chance to change our thoughts and to try to do something else as we did it usually, and we can change our lives as I did when I decided to came out. And yeah, I hope that when the people see Arthur and his pain, that they realize that they don't want to become like him. Yeah.
Sure. Well spoken. And with that, I can't imagine a better ending. Thank you to all of you for screening the film. Thank you for being here. Hopefully someday we'll be able to meet in person, but until then, we love the fact that we can do this. And we'll leave you again with the thank you, and we'll be showing the trailer as we exit. So thanks.
Thank you for inviting us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Wovon träumst du sonst in deinem Leben?
Was meinst du?
Wie du dir dein Leben so vorstellst, was hast du für Ziele? Wie willst du leben?
Schon lange krank. 1 Jahr. Tut mir leid. Vermisst ein Leben mit deiner Frau?
Ja, schon.
Wie lange seid ihr zusammen?
Seit unserer Kindheit. Sie war meine Nachbarin.
Nie getrennt?
Nie. Und du bist jetzt alle 14 Tage in Österreich und pflegst unsere Alten. Ja. Das ist kein Vergnügen, ne?
Mache ich schon lange so. Gewöhnt man sich dran.
Ist deine Freundin?
Nein.
Ist noch jung. Ich will eine finden. Warum hast du denn vorhin so geschrien?
Mama ist krank. Mir geht's sehr schlecht. Onkel sagt, in Budapest gibt's ein privates Spital, das ist gut. Aber unmöglich bezahlen.
Ich werde mir etwas einfallen lassen, wie wir deiner Mama helfen können.
Wirklich?
Wirklich. Ist das so mit deinem Freund?